on me. That word has picked me up when others have put me down. That word has kept me when other things have let me down all this journey. I want to tell you there's something about the word that just keeps us on this journey. Oh, when money gets tight, and I can think of the Lord saying that I will make a way for you. Oh, when my health gets bad, and I hear the Lord saying that I will keep you in your time of distress. Oh, when friends get few, and I hear the Lord saying that I'll be your light and your salvation. I want to tell you the word has been mighty good to me. I don't know about y'all, but if I get a word, sometime when I'm sitting down all by myself, I can get happy there all by myself, just thinking about the word of the Almighty God. Jesus here was preaching the word. And understand his style of preaching was different from everybody else. And so when Jesus gave the word, everybody came because of the word. And oh, my business, I want to tell you that if you want Jesus to be in the house, then make sure that there always is a word from the Lord. For the word has all that you need. So we find that when Jesus is in the house, there is a message. But not only is there a message, but then secondly, when Jesus is in the house, there is a mission. When Jesus is there, there is always a mission. Here in the text, we find that there were some here in Capernaum that I find to be some amazing individuals. First thing is, we find that the strange thing about these individuals is, number one, they were not concerned about titles. Lord have mercy. I don't know about Jacksonville, but I know in Macon, sometimes titles can get to be a problem. They were not concerned about titles. If you look here in the text, we find here that it says to us that they come unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy. And it says that when they could not come nigh for him for the press, they uncovered the roof. And they broke it up, and then they let him down. And when Jesus saw their faith, the amazing thing is that here are four individuals. And the Bible never gives us their names. It never gives us their titles. It just says they. Oh, we don't know who they were, but they were four blood-born, evidently born-again soldiers who weren't worried about their names going down in history. They weren't worried about their name being called, but they just wanted to do a good work. My friends, I want to tell you that if we could get beyond wanting our names called, wanting to be seen by folk, and wanting our name to be called out, and wanting titles before our name. Oh, what a difference we could make in this world. Sometimes titles create a problem because it's no longer about Jesus, it's all about us. Lord have mercy. I don't know about over here, but I know where I come from. I don't know about in Arkansas or some of y'all cousins down in Georgia. Yeah, they love for their names to be called. They love for titles to be put in front of their name. And all we love to be seen when we do whatever we do for the Master. But I want to tell you here in the text here, the Bible just says, wait. And I want to tell you one philosophy that I have is there's a beauty in this, because I want to tell you that when you get to heaven, I want to tell you, my Bible says that we ought to look for him to say, servants, well done. He ain't going to say us, a choir member, preacher, deacon, but servant, well done. And I want to tell you that's the only title we ought to be looking for. That's one of our problems. We get titles again, we don't do no work no more. Time the pastor give us a title, we done, because all we wanted to do was get a title. But I want to tell you, you ought to get over titles and just look to be a servant when you get there before the Master. That's all we ought to look for is the title of servant. These men didn't want their name called. They didn't want their name mentioned. And so I believe here that it says to us that when there is a mission, that it's not about us. It must be all about Jesus. Oh, look here at these men. There's more to their mission. Not only did they not want their names called, but look how they forgot about themselves. Listen, Jesus was in town. And there they knew they could get to him and get a blessing. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if Jesus was in Jacksonville today, and if I heard he was there giving out blessings, I want to tell y'all would have to fight me to get to Jesus. Because I know there are some things that I need in my life. I don't know about y'all, but I suspect there's some things that you need in your life. But look here at the text. These 4 men knew Jesus was there, but they looked beyond themselves. 4 of them got together to have enough love for a brother who could not do for himself. And said, now there's our brother who is sick of the palsy. And I know I need a blessing, and you need a blessing, and you need a blessing, and you need a blessing. Yeah, but there's our brother who is at home in need of a blessing. Why don't we go and get him and carry him to see Jesus? I know we got needs in our lives, but our brother has a need as well. And these 4 men look beyond themselves. 4 of them, not 1 of them, but 4 of them had a mind to look beyond themselves, knowing Jesus was giving out blessings, and say, let the 4 of us give up what we need and go and see about our brother who is in more need than we are. Lord have mercy. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds like a mission to me, y'all. When they're willing to give up their need to go and see about one. And then not only that, but look how they worked together. Took 4 of them. Why? Because this was a full-grown man. Takes 4 of us. All of us, every man grab a corner of his cot. Everyone grab a corner of the bed and work in unison. We pick him up and we carry him through the streets of the city to go and to see one who has delivering power. Look at them as they're walking with this man. All of them had to be in step. All of them had to unite their steps and their thoughts together in order to bring this man to Jesus. They could not drop him. They didn't want to drop him, but all of them wanted to get him to Jesus. Now, let me tell y'all this. I also believe that if they did this and went through this much trouble, all of them felt that if we get it back, some way, somehow, Jesus will take care of this situation. I want to tell you, a lot of our missions in our churches don't work because we really don't have in mind that Jesus is able. You got to know in your heart that Jesus is able to do what needs to be done. And all these 4 men believe that if we can just get him there some way, somehow, Jesus will take care of our situation. They got him there. The Bible says the press was so thick that they could not get him through the door. Oh, but look at these 4 men on a mission. They did not give up. What you been going through? I got one more word for you. Oh, yes. Oh, what an embarrassment it was for the companies. They stood there trying to fill it back up with gas. And it was said by spectators that even when this float began its journey on down the road, that there was just something missing. It lost a lot because people had such high expectations of this float. Yes, sir. My brothers and sisters, I believe that this story goes to show us something that so tragically happens all of the time. Yeah. Many times, us as Christians, we look good, but we neglect a lot of times the essential things that need to go on the inside. It was found that when they built this float, they put so much time into decorating the outside that they fail to remember to fill the gas tank. All my brothers and sisters, so many times with us as Christians, we put so much emphasis on making the outside look good until we fail to put in the most essential thing. We put so much in making the outside look good, and I believe it is because we are very impressionable people. And we like to give impressions, and we love first impressions, and we take so much time trying to impress other folk that many times we fail to put in the most essential things. I thought it not robbery to come to Jacksonville to remind my prisoner that as God blesses you, and as you look forward to building this new sanctuary edifice that you are building, we want to say to you, make sure that you put in the essential. And that essential is Jesus. Oh, it doesn't matter what color the bricks are, or what color the carpet is, or what color the paint is, but make sure that Jesus is in the house. I want to tell you, when Jesus is in the house, everything will be all right. Here in our text today, we have a story that tells us about what happens when Jesus is in the house. When Jesus is in the house, there is something that is just different about how the house is. When Jesus is in the house, there are certain characteristics that the house ought to have. Oh, when Jesus is there, there is just a different feel when Jesus is present. I want to tell you that I have been in some churches that are full of folk but ain't no Jesus. And I've been in some where people are few, but when Jesus is present, I want to tell you, as the text said, when two or three gather in his name, touching and agreeing, I want to tell you he can still be in the midst. And I want to tell you that make sure that Jesus is in the house. But when Jesus is there, there is just something different about the house. And I just believe here in Jacksonville, there are some people who still need some deliverance. I believe there are still some people who still need some prayer every now and then. There are still some who need the Lord every now and then. Oh, I'm just one who is optimistic, and I was telling them the other night at a revival meeting that I believe that there are still some people in this city that God still can save. I believe God still has some good choir members that may be still on street corners. He still may have some good preachers that are still in some back alleys. He still may have some good missionaries that are still on street corners. I don't know about y'all, but I just believe that there's still power in my God. He still got saving power. He still has saving ability. Well, let's look here just a moment here at this text. To just look at a few things that happen when Jesus is in the house. The first thing that I want to lift for you, and ain't that mean I won't be here long, but the first thing that I lift is that when Jesus is in the house, number one, there is a message. When Jesus is in the house, the first thing that we notice is that when Jesus is in the house, the word was publicized. The text says to us that it was noise that he was in the house. Oh, when Jesus is in the house, the word gets around that Jesus is in that house. All my brothers and sisters, I want to tell you that when Jesus shows up, people cannot help but spread the good news that Jesus is in the house. When Jesus is there in the house, the word starts to get all around. Now, I've been to some workshops recently where they're telling pastors